You walk onto the forecourt of a Mercedes dealership somewhere in the London. The salesman hands you the key fob to a brand new E-Class. You sink into the leather. You smell that smell. That distinct, intoxicating aroma of fresh polymers, treated hide, and pure, unadulterated status. And then he says the magic words. It's only $495 a month. That sounds manageable, doesn't it? Like the price of a decent gym membership and a few takeaways. So, you sign. You drive off the forecourt feeling like you've finally arrived. But what you've actually done is sign a 4 or 5 year contract that will quietly drain over £25,000 out of your bank account. You haven't bought a car. You've bought a depreciating liability dressed up as a status symbol. Because in 2026, the British car industry isn't really selling cars anymore. It's selling monthly payments. It's selling the feeling of luxury sliced into bite-sized chunks small enough that your brain doesn't trigger the panic alarm. In this video, we'll take that warm, fuzzy, new car smell feeling and put it under a microscope. We'll use cold mathematics to tell you exactly how much car you can afford based on what you actually earn. The median earner. The six-figure professional. The PCP balloon payment trap that's quietly draining middle-class Britain. The recent FCA redress scheme that's shaken the industry. And we'll end with one calculation that might genuinely change the trajectory of your entire financial life. Before we look at any salary tier, you need the benchmark. The framework proper financial advisors quietly use, even though dealerships will fight tooth and nail to make sure you never hear it. The 24-10 rule. 3 numbers. Memorize them. 20 refers to your deposit. You should put down at least 20% of the vehicle's purchase price in cash. Not a finance deposit allowance. Not the dealer's contribution. Real money. Why? Because a new car loses roughly 15 to 25% of its value the moment you drive it off the forecourt. Put 20% down and you stay above water. Put down 5% or 0 and you are immediately in negative equity. 4 refers to the term of your finance agreement. 48 months. Maximum. If you cannot afford the monthly payment over 4 years, the brutal truth is you cannot afford the car. Stretching to 5, 6 or 7 years, which is becoming horrifyingly common, doesn't make the car cheaper. It hides the cost while you pay thousands more in interest. 10 refers to your total monthly transport spend. And this is the one nobody talks about. Your total monthly outlay on the car, including finance, insurance, road tax, fuel, and maintenance, should never exceed 10% of your gross monthly income. Not the finance payment alone. The total cost of moving the metal. Run that maths against your own life right now. I guarantee most people watching are spending 15, 20, even 25% of their gross income on a car. And that is the silent reason so many British households cannot save, cannot invest, and cannot retire. Let's get specific. According to the Office for National Statistics Annual Survey of Hours and Earnings, median gross annual earnings for full-time UK employees reached £39,039 in 2025, up 4.3% on the previous year. Half the country earns more, half earns less. After income tax and national insurance, monthly take-home is roughly £2,550 to £2,650, depending on pension contributions and student loan status. Applying the 10% rule to gross income, the total monthly transport budget caps at £325. Total. That has to cover finance, insurance, petrol, road tax, and maintenance. Now, let's break down what that £325 actually has to cover, using current, verified 2026 figures. According to the Association of British Insurers Motor Insurance Premium Tracker, the average comprehensive premium in Q1 2026 was £560 a year, or roughly £47 a month. That's based on prices actually paid, not quoted prices, which tend to run higher. At the UK's typical annual mileage of around 7,500 miles, fuel costs for a reasonably efficient petrol car run to roughly £85 to £100 a month. Vehicle excise duty, the standard rate from April 2026, is £200 a year, or about £17 a month, for most cars registered after April 2017. Set aside another £40 a month for maintenance, MOT, servicing and tyres, because you will need them. Add it up. Insurance, fuel, tax and maintenance alone comes to roughly £190 to £205 a month before a single finance payment. That leaves the median earner with somewhere in the region of £120 to £135 a month for the actual car finance. On a 4-year term with a 20% deposit, at a typical used car PCP rate of around 8 to 10% APR, that buys you a car worth approximately £7,000 to £8,000 drive away. That doesn't get you a brand new SUV. It doesn't get you a Tesla. It doesn't get you the gleaming Audi Q3 you've been daydreaming about on Instagram. It gets you a several-year-old Ford Fiesta, a Vauxhall Corsa, or a well-kept Skoda Octavia from around 2019. That is the actual mathematically responsible car for the median British earner. And yet, walk through any Tesco car park, any school run, any new estate in Milton Keynes. And what do you see? Median earners driving brand new Range Rover Evoques on PCP, paying £500 a month, and wondering why they can't afford to fix the boiler. By this measure, they are spending well beyond the 10% benchmark. Now, let's level up. You've worked your way to £100,000 gross, the top tier of UK earners, though notably less rare than it once was given wage growth and fiscal drag, pulling more people into higher tax bands. Surely now you can afford that brand new BMW X5 with the panoramic roof. Let's run the numbers. After income tax, national insurance, and the gradual withdrawal of your personal allowance above £100,000, monthly take-home is roughly £5,600 to £5,800. Painful, isn't it? Applying the 10% gross rule, your transport budget is around £833 a month. Sounds like a lot. But costs scale up with the vehicle. Insurance on a higher value vehicle is easily £90 to £120 a month. Fuel for a larger engine, roughly £120 to £150. Road tax on a car with a list price above £40,000 triggers the expensive car supplement of £440 a year for 5 years on top of the standard £200, pushing total VED to roughly £640 a year, or about £53 a month in years 2 to 6. Maintenance on a German premium SUV out of warranty is at least £60 to £80 a month, often more. Strip that out, and you're left with about £500 to £550 a month for the finance payment. On a 4-year term with a smaller deposit and a more competitive manufacturer-backed APR, often 4 to 7% on new premium cars, that gets you a car worth around £30,000 to £38,000. A BMW 3 Series, a Volvo XC60, a well-spec'd Skoda Kodiaq. Notice what's missing. The Range Rover, the Porsche Cayenne, the Mercedes G-Wagon. None of those are on the table, even on 6 figures. Why? Because the cost of luxury cars in the UK has exploded over the last 5 years, while wages have crawled. A new Range Rover Sport now starts well above £80,000. A Porsche Cayenne above £90,000. To responsibly afford one on this framework, you need a gross income of around £180,000 to £200,000 a year. The 6-figure milestone, which used to be the gateway to luxury motoring, now barely buys a mid-range German saloon. 6-figure earners today can typically afford less car, in real terms, than they could a decade ago. And here's a quick note for electric vehicle buyers. EVs registered from April 2025 lost their VEDI exemption and are now taxed on the same basis, though the expensive car supplement threshold for EVs is set higher at £50,000 from April 2026, rather than the standard £40,000, a partial concession that narrows but doesn't eliminate the gap. Now let's talk about how the car finance industry actually works. Personal contract purchase, PCP, is the dominant form of new car finance in the UK. Industry estimates suggest it accounts for roughly 4 in 5 new car finance agreements. PCP is the velvet glove with the iron fist inside. Here's how it's structured. You want a car worth £30,000. You put down 10%, £3,000. You sign a 48-month contract at a representative APR of 9.9%. Your monthly payment looks lovely, around £340. You think, brilliant, I can afford that. But here's what the salesman didn't draw on the showroom whiteboard. At the end of those 48 months, you don't own the car. You owe the guaranteed minimum future value, the balloon payment. On a £30,000 car, that balloon will typically be somewhere between a third and a half of the car's original price, £12,000 to £15,000 in one lump at the end of 4 years. You have 3 options, and all 3 are designed to keep you on the hamster wheel. Option 1, hand the car back. You walk away with nothing. You've paid roughly £20,000 and have no asset. Option 2, pay the balloon, £12,000 to £15,000 in cash. The vast majority don't have that lying around, which is precisely why they were on PCP in the first place. Industry surveys suggest only around 15 to 20% of PCP customers actually settle the balloon and keep the car. Option 3, and this is what they want, roll into a brand new PCP on a brand new car. Reset the clock. Start paying again forever. This structure is not inherently improper. For buyers who want predictable payments and enjoy changing cars every few years, it can suit their needs. But it is worth understanding clearly, because the low advertised monthly figure obscures the fact that ownership is deferred and interest is charged on the full amount financed, including the portion that becomes the balloon. You pay interest on money you'll never use to actually own the car. PCP is engineered to keep British drivers in a permanent state of car payment. They don't want you to own the car. They want you to rent it from them on rolling 4-year cycles for the rest of your working life. Now, here is a significant recent development that has shaken the industry to its core. In March 2026, the Financial Conduct Authority finalised an industry-wide consumer redress scheme covering motor finance agreements from 6th of April 2007 to 1st of November 2024, where commission arrangements between lenders and dealers were not properly disclosed to customers. The FCA's own modelling puts total redress at somewhere between 7.5 and 8.2 billion, with an average payment of roughly £700 per agreement. Firms are required to begin contacting affected customers from mid-2026. As of mid-2026, the scheme has been legally challenged by industry parties, and the upper tribunal has suspended parts of it pending resolution, so the final shape and timing of payouts may still change. But the sheer scale of the sums involved, billions of pounds, tells you everything you need to know about how this product has been pushed onto the British public. Anyone who believes they may have been affected can find current guidance directly on the FCA's website. Even if you avoid the PCP trap and pay cash, the car still bleeds you dry through 5 hidden leaks. Almost no one factors in until it's too late. Leak 1. Insurance. The average comprehensive premium in the UK is now around £560 a year, according to the ABI, though this varies enormously by age, postcode, and vehicle, from under £400 for an older driver in a low-risk car to well over £1,000 for a younger driver or higher performance vehicle. On top, you pay insurance premium tax at 12%, confirmed unchanged at the November 2025 budget, adding roughly £65 to £70 to the average policy. Industry analysts widely expect further hikes in coming years. Leak 2, fuel or electricity. At the UK's average annual mileage of around 7,500 miles, a petrol car averaging 45 miles per gallon costs in the region of £1,000 to £1,100 a year. For an EV, home charging is cheaper, typically £400 to £500 a year, but relying on public rapid charging brings this much closer to petrol costs. And from April 2028, a pay-per-mile charge of roughly 3 pence per mile is planned for electric vehicles, in addition to standard VD. Leak 3. Maintenance. MOT, servicing, tyres, brake pads, the unexpected garage visit. Budget at least £500 a year for a mainstream car 5 years old or older. For premium German vehicles out of warranty, double or even triple it. A single set of run-flat tyres on a BMW can set you back over £800. Leak 4. VED. The standard rate from April 2026 is £200 a year. If your car has a list price over £40,000, you trigger the expensive car supplement, an extra £440 per year for 5 consecutive years, from the second year of registration. That's an extra £2,200 in pure tax over 5 years. For zero-emission vehicles, the threshold rises to £50,000 from April 2026. Electric vehicles, previously exempt, lost their VD exemption in April 2025 and are now taxed on the same basis. Leak 5. And this is the absolute killer. Depreciation. Industry data from CAP HPI and other UK valuation sources consistently shows a brand new car loses between 15 and 25% of its value in the first 12 months, and approximately 40 to 60% within 3 years, with wide variation by make and model. Real numbers. A brand new car bought for £30,000 will, on average, be worth £12,000 to £18,000 3 years later. You have lost £15,000 to £18,000 in depreciation, roughly £5,000 a year, or over £400 a month, evaporating from your bank account in invisible value loss. That's more than the actual finance payment on most family cars, and almost no one factors it in when they decide whether they can afford a vehicle. Now we come to the most important calculation in this entire video, the one nobody on a dealership forecourt will ever show you. Because if they did, no one would ever finance a brand new car again. Take the average new car PCP payment in the UK in 2026, roughly £600 a month all in, when you factor in finance, insurance, fuel, tax and maintenance for a moderately premium vehicle. Scenario A, the typical British driver. They sign the PCP, £600 a month for 10 years straight, rolling from one shiny new car to another every 4 years. After 10 years, they have spent £72,000. And what do they have to show for it? A 4-year-old car worth maybe £10,000 to £15,000 if they chose to settle the final balloon. Net result, they have lost approximately £60,000. Scenario B, the disciplined driver. They buy a sensible used car for £8,000, paid in cash. They drive it for 10 years. Total running costs, about £200 a month. The difference, £400 a month. Every single month they invest into a global index fund tracker, like a low-cost FTSE All-World ETF, inside their stocks and shares ISA. £400 a month for 10 years at a conservative average annual return of 7%, which is roughly the long-term real return of global equities, compounded monthly inside an ISA, completely tax-free. After 10 years, that disciplined driver has approximately £69,000. Run that 20 years instead of 10. After 2 decades, you would have approximately £208,000. Over a 30-year working career, the figure climbs to around £488,000, £500,000. Enough to clear most of a mortgage. Enough to retire several years earlier. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the wealth gap. It is not created by salary alone. It is created every single day by the decisions ordinary people make at car dealerships across Britain. The choice between status today and freedom tomorrow. Here's the truth. Nobody on the forecourt wants you to hear. A car is a tool. It exists for one purpose: to get you from where you are to where you need to be. It is not a personality. It is not a measurement of your worth. It is not proof that you have arrived. It is a depreciating lump of metal, plastic, and rubber that begins losing value the second you sign the paperwork. The wealthiest people I have ever studied, the ones with genuine generational financial freedom, are almost universally driving sensible, paid-off vehicles. 3 to 5 years old, bought used, driven into the ground. They understand a concept the average earner has been carefully trained to forget: opportunity cost. Every pound you spend on a car you cannot afford is a pound that is not earning compound interest for your future self. Every monthly PCP payment is a tiny brick removed from the foundation of your retirement. Every brand new SUV in your driveway is a beach holiday you'll never take, a mortgage you'll never finish, a child's university fund you'll never fully fill. So here is your homework. Look at your bank statements for the last 12 months. Add up everything you have spent on your car, finance, insurance, fuel, tax, maintenance, parking, the lot. Now divide that by your gross annual income. If the figure is anything above 10%, you are quietly financing the dealership's lifestyle instead of your own. It's worth understanding exactly where that money is going and whether it reflects a deliberate choice or simply how the deal was structured at the point of sale.
The new car smell will fade in about 6 weeks. The financial consequences of that smell will follow you for the next 10 years. Choose carefully. Choose mathematically. And whatever you do not let a man in a sharp suit and a pair of shiny shoes convince you that £490 a month is anything other than what it actually is. The slow, quiet sound of your future being sold back to you, one monthly direct debit at a time. If you learn something, like this video and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.